Hey everybody, today I want to talk about this guy right here. Got the gland seal. This one's gland seal, this one's just a nut, a packing nut. This is off of a Wagner front loader on a tractor. And one of the main reasons for this video is I could not find any information on it when I did my own search. I have fluid leaking, as you can see from right here. This one's actually not the worst of it. The other side is the one that was leaking, but I actually have it all sealed up right now so no debris gets inside the cylinder. So I'm going to use this one as the example. But basically whenever I use the hydraulics on the front loader, I didn't do that. I bought it that way, by the way. You got fluid that comes gushing out right here. And I mean, it was gushing out so bad, it's just not usable. So I couldn't find any information online regarding these, and I tried posting on different forums. I tried calling different hydraulic shops. Nobody knew what I was talking about regarding these two nuts here. So I went ahead and I just took it off myself and figured it out. I went down to a couple different O-ring shops and stuff like that, and pretty much got the education behind it and learned how to do it. So if you have a cylinder that is similar to this one, what it is you have the larger packing nut right here, and there will be an O-ring on the outside of this right here, which is going to be this one here, but this one's flat and not usable anymore, so I got a replacement one. And then on the inside here, it's going to be called, you can see them right there, it's called V packing, or for this particular tractor it's Chevron V packing sealing kit. So I'll go over that a little bit right now, and I'll show you the replacement ones that I got. But you basically have to repack those the V packing sealers that are in there. So these ones are all corroded, you can kind of see them falling apart there. But we're going to take all that out, we're going to repack it with new ones and put the new O-ring on there and just clean up everything, make sure everything's alright. And then this outer one here, which is this one here, screws right into the top there, and it helps press down on the V packing, and which helps, it gives it the seal. So somebody that owned this before decided that they wanted to break it and not replace it. So I searched high and low for a replacement one of these, and I could not find one. Everybody pretty much told me that I had to have it machined or have a new one made. But one shop told me, you know what, it's an old tractor, if you want to just keep it running, you can go ahead and just keep it running. This out here is actually just like a dirt shield. Just keeps dirt from entering in right here. So he was pretty much telling me, you know, you're taking the risk with it on that, but this I can go ahead and just reuse it, because its main purpose besides the dirt is using this end here, pressing it into there, tightening it, and helping pack the V seals, the V packing. And it gets it right there. If you can see the V groove in it, this is the top portion there. So let's go ahead and move in, we'll show you that. Alright, so this is the V packing kit that I got. And this is going to be the bottom here, this one. And then if you see it, they have all the grooves. You just fit them on top of each other, like so. And once you place these inside of here, you'll take that nut, put that nut, thread it on here, which will help push down on the V packing here. That'll go like that. Alright. So you'll have those. And then that's going to be the new O-ring for the bottom there. So once you go ahead and do that, should stop leaking. And then as far as getting this old material out, what I did was I just used a flathead screwdriver and I came at it from the bottom here and hit it that way out until it just pops out. And then, you know, you have to be careful not to hit the inside of this. You definitely don't want to damage it in any kind of way, but you do need to get all that material out and then repack it with the new one. Alright, so as you can see, this is all the old material from the V packing, just literally crumbled out. This is the bottom, and that goes in just like that, with the groove facing outward, the flat part facing bottom. And I have to use some sandpaper and clean that all out. Make sure it's not rough sandpaper, you want the finest stuff. And we're going to get this all cleaned out, and then we're going to go ahead and get the new ones put in. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I got some emery cloth, and I'm going to go ahead and clean up the edges around here on the outside of this, and then clean up the inside where the V-seal packing is going to go. I'm going to get that all cleaned up. You can see a little bit of gunk and stuff there, so I'm gonna get that all cleaned up. Again, this one is broken and I wasn't able to find a replacement, so I'm just gonna actually clean up the inside here with the emery cloth and then see what I could do about resealing it or whatnot. But this is just gonna have to be reused for right now because it's broken and I'm not able to find a replacement. I'm probably gonna end up having to find somebody that's parting out a tractor or something. But once I get this all cleaned out, then we're gonna go ahead and install the new seals and the new O-ring that goes around the outside right here, and then we're gonna start reinstallation. Alright, so we got that cleaned out in there. I know it doesn't look awesome, but it's actually really smooth and way better than it was. So we're gonna go ahead and get the seals put back on this. Right now is I went ahead and cleaned up everything. I've already actually started putting the new seals in there. And you start with the base. So you have, this is the top piece here, and then there's one at the bottom of the seal kit that is the base. So you put that one in first, and then you're going to put in however many of these seals that you need. Everybody's application is going to be a little bit different depending on which hydraulic you have. But what I'm going to do, nobody told me you know how to do this, but I'm just going to make sure that the top piece, this one, is flush with the top of this here. So it looks like it's probably going to take one more of those seals. So I'm using about 1, 2, 3. Used 3 seals already, so I'm probably going to end up using 4. And then mine came with 5. And I'm going to put that one at the end there. And then once we get that on, I'm going to go ahead and just loosely put the nut back on just so it holds all the packing together. And then we're going to go move over to the tractor and put it back on. Alright, so it ended up taking 4 of those. I got a pack of 5, and then I got the top piece in there. It fits in a little loose. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but it looks to be fitting properly. So again, we're going to have the packing nut, or the gland nut on here pressing down on that. And that's what those edges are for. It goes in there just like that and screws in. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm not going to tighten this up, but I am going to just put it on loosely, and then we'll move over to the... Alright, so while I was working on the gland seal and everything like that, I went ahead and taped all this up just so no dirt would get inside the cylinder. But what we're going to do now is clean up the piston here. You can see all this grime. We're going to just wipe it down and then use the emery cloth and just give it a nice little coat and get it nice and clean. And then we're going to go ahead and slide those back in on here and take off all that. Alright, you guys, so I got a strap holding the hydraulic up in place. I got the end cleaned up a little bit there. I got a new cotter pin on the pin. I got a cotter pin on whatever that thing's called, the pivoting pin. So I went ahead and I put the gland nut back on just enough to put pressure to hold all the seals in place. And then what I'm going to do right now is apply a little bit of hydraulic fluid to the shaft here, just to give it, things don't get caught up and bind it up. And then we're going to go ahead and slide this on. And then we're going to tighten up this one. Obviously I'm going to take all this stuff off. And then after that, we're going to tighten up this one here. And it's just going to be a little over hand tight. They told me not to tighten it too much. Again, this nut is just keeping the dirt out with this seal here, which obviously this thing's not working, and I'm going to replace this one as soon as I find it. And the seals inside here, the ones that we replaced, are the ones that actually keep the fluid in. And then I put the new O-ring on right there as well. Alright guys, so I got it tightened back on there, and I got the packing nut on there. Everything's nice and snug. So yeah, once I get this thing up and running, I'll go ahead and cycle it a couple times and get some new fluid in there for all the fluid that drained out, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys if it's still leaking or not. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I ran the tractor for a little bit and lifted up the hydraulic and lowered it. I can confirm that it is not leaking anymore. Before, I mean, this thing was gushing out. Like, I can't even explain it. Just gushing out. And right now it's completely dry. I do have one small leak right here at this fitting, but I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. But my main concern was this one here, especially because I couldn't find this part here. But yeah, so everything I did was a fix, and it's all taken care of now. So if you have a Wagner front end loader on a tractor from the late 1950s, I even think that the 1940s use them, and the 1960s. I saw them on all those kind of tractors. They all pretty much use the same ones. Hopefully that'll help you guys get that leak on this piston right here fixed up. So I didn't take the piston out or anything like that. I just disconnected the pin from here, took off these two nuts here, replaced the seal kit in here, and then reapplied some grease, lubricant, stuff like that on the piston here just when I'm sliding this back on, and then just reinstalled everything. I went ahead and I ran it right now, and it's not leaking anymore. I got the parts here and the ones that I bought. So again, don't take my paper, you know, for it, but because yours might be different, the best bet is to take that off and take it into the shop and have them kind of match it. While this may fit for yours, and it may be the same as mine, if the diameter of the shaft or anything like that, or the cylinder is different, they're not going to match up and it's not going to be the same. So, you know, use my paper as a reference, but don't take your word for word. All right, get yours checked out. All right, thanks guys. Bye bye.